TN Studios right here in Harare. My name is Marissa Marinda and welcome to the special edition of Thriving Heals. Now, the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, which runs really from the 25th of November to the 10th of December, are a time to highlight long-lasting attitudes that disempower women and girls. And this year's theme is going towards the Beijing Plus 30, which is Unite to End Violence Against Women and Girls. The campaign is unifying color is orange. As you can see in the studio, we are all wearing orange, and orange simplifies and represents a bright future free from violence against women and girls. Essentially, the Institute of Women Social Workers team is in the studio today with me, and we have with us Tichita Hurukuro Yedu, which is the dialogue. I am joined by the program's director, Hazel Kandima. Good morning, Hazel.
Good morning.
And I'm joined by the male engagement officer, Ngonidzayi Mugari. Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
And we have Perseverance Chibika, who is the programs officer. Good morning to you.
Good morning to
you are looking lovely and bright, I must say.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So as we did say, orange is the brightest color, and it is really just representing what this means. And I think for my first question, Hazel, let me start with you. We understand the Hurukuro dialogue on gender-based violence is something that is really a huge topic, and it always really centers around the women and the girl child. Now, the 16 days of activism, what does that mean to you as your institute pertaining to this?
Okay, thank you so much for the important question. So first things first, let me just start by telling people what Hurukuro is. Hurukuro is a model that is adaptive, that is interactive, that we designed as Institute to try and foster an environment that is good for conversation, for the hard conversation relating to SRHR, mental health, and gender-based violence. So in this year, the theme is Unite to End Violence Against Women and Girls. And so Hurukuro does align with the theme for this year because it fosters a collective responsibility to tackle the issues that surround gender-based violence. So it promotes openness, people feel free, and we can get to engage the young people, the community leaders, the women, the girls, in as much as this is about the women and girls, but we do not leave the men behind. Hurukuro fosters that collectiveness, and we bring everyone and do not leave anyone behind.
That's absolutely fantastic. And you even saying that brings me to the next question, Ngonidzayi, because a lot of perpetrators are modeled as the man. The male guy is always the one who's bashing the women, but men are not excluded in this vice. And with the same question that I posed to Hazel, what does that mean to you as the male in this whole activism?
As the male engagement officer, we are also encouraging men to take part in this 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. And as men, we are trying to make the wrong things right. Like just fighting on the stereotypes that were before, and trying to make things right by saying, like, you know what, even though women suffer and even women also cry, but we expect men to also take responsibility of their actions and say, you know what, we need to stand against this violence that's going on in the community.
And from your understanding, or from the data that you've probably collected, what is maybe the ratio roughly that you can say male are going through this more than women, or women are going through this more than men? What ratio would you say?
It's 1 in 3 women suffer from violence,
Right.
domestic violence. Okay. And whereas to men, like, it's only 1 out of 10.
Oh, wow.
And identify the stresses that are pushing people to actually do these crimes, do this, whatever it is that's making a household break up. Because right now we understand there's so many divorces that are going on, and there's so many child marriages, and it's no longer about pointing fingers. Yeah. It's about uniting.
Uniting
Yeah.
as a community.
As a community.
Right.
Yeah.
And I know that your institute is really driving this and doing the best that we can to really highlight this.
Yes,
now,
absolutely.
Perseverance.
Yes.
What are the main drivers of gender-based violence in the local context, and what impact can models such as the Hurukuro help?
Suggests that in Zimbabwe, gender-based violence is mainly caused by social norms and expectations, whereby we're still hearing stories of child marriages and patriarchal attitudes and economic dependence, whereby a lot of women, they rely on their partners and their husbands for financial support. And as the Hurukuro model, it actually is helping positively because it's a safe space, and whereby the gender-based violence survivors, they share their stories together with the perpetrators, the community members as well. And the fact that we use an approach that's Afrocentric,
because a lot of people don't really step up because of how we've been raised.
Yeah.
You know, so have you had any kind of what are the cons that you've experienced in really trying to make sure that the woman or the male child is taken care of because of this culture issue?
The cause would be that at least they're opening up. That's one of the main causes. They're opening up, which is filled in the gender-based violence issues.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Now, you are watching, guys, the special edition of Thriving Heals, where we are discussing Hurukuro. We're having a dialogue really about equipping women and women social workers in partnership with Zimpapers Television Network in conjunction with HIVOS, supported by SRHR Fund. Don't go away. We will be right back.
Welcome back, gospel music lovers, to another season of My Ultimate Gospel 10. Your ultimate destination for soul-stirring melodies and 10 gospel songs. Meet Miss Becky K, the dynamic and passionate new presenter for Season 3.
If you are ready, let's get into My Ultimate Gospel 10.
Premiering soon, only on
I missed on that blessing, but I also regained it in some way.
In seasons 1 and 2, we introduced you to the industry's brightest stars, the ones at the top of their game, the creme de la creme. But season 3 promises to be even more exciting. And to top it all off, our very own host, Ken Sharp, will be stepping out of the interviewer's chair and into the hot seat as he gets interviewed by a Sapoko Napo Ipapo Ipapo Bazetian Prime, DSTV channel 294, the place to be.
Special edition of Thriving Heals right here from the ZTN headquarters. My name is Marissa Marinda, and we are having Hurukuro, our dialogue, which is equipping young women and girls on GBV prevention. This podcast is brought to you by the Institute of Women Social Workers in conjunction with Zimpapers, pointers that lead to gender-based violence. And another pointer, Hazel, I'll direct this question to you, is limited access to information.
Yes.
Limited access to information and services that address the gender-based violence issues. Now, in what ways have you made the Hurukuro model far-reaching and more accessible?
Okay, thank you. So one of Hurukuro's strengths is adaptability. Hurukuro as our approach can adapt, and it's something that resonates with us in our cultural context. And so what we do is that we train, as an institute, we have our own community champions that we train so that they can facilitate this Hurukuro dialogues of the activism against gender-based violence. We do have Hurukuro sessions for GBV, and these community champions, they facilitate these dialogues so that they get the message across. The work does not have to stop just because we are not in the community. They keep the work going, they keep the messages going out there. And also we partner with our local radios, and we do a lot of social media campaigns so that we just build more awareness, because we do know that there is a huge knowledge gap in our communities, and many times women and girls, they don't have access to this information, and many of times they don't know, they are not aware of their rights when it comes to GBV. So really, yeah, we have been utilizing that so that maybe we can reach, and we do have outreach programs actually that we embark on. done. Recently, we were in a community where we were doing our outreach campaign. We had a march, a 5-kilometer march, actually, with the women and girls. We reach as many people as we can.
Yeah, we do have a big Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
And, just reaching out the community is really, really important. You guys have a lot of work to do in really bringing out this awareness. And I do know that that is indeed what you are doing. Now, for Perseverance and Ngoni, what ways have women and men, participants of ambassadors of this anti-GBV drive, putting into consideration the saying, nothing for us without us?
Whereas for men, we designed a campaign that was open to both genders, male and female, a T-shirt campaign, where we ask people, like, you know what, tell us about yourself. After you tell us about yourself, you tell us, like, what does gender-based violence mean to you? Like, what's your definition of gender-based violence? And what are some of the strategies that can actually be implemented to fight this pandemic of gender-based violence? And we actually got recognition. Like, a lot of people started sending their videos to us and stuff in exchange for T-shirts and stuff. And the majority were women, unfortunately. And men, the numbers were also small and stuff. But we actually hope, like, in the future, men will also take part in such issues and stuff, so that they also become ambassadors and actually spread the word of GBV to other men and stuff. Because the way us men we work through peer pressure. If another guy is doing it and stuff, I'll also do it and stuff. If it's a good thing, first of all, you actually sit back and say, like, let me see how it's gonna go. Until it's a positive thing, that's when men, we also get inside. Like the Hurukuro, like what Hazel just mentioned and stuff. When it comes to men, we also sit down and talk and also discuss other issues, because it's actually easier for a man to open up to another man than a man to open up to a lady. And also the programs that come with the Hurukuro, they also address issues that men suffer from. Like actually connecting Hurukuro GBV with mental health, because it's a thin line between them and stuff. So we try by all means to address the actions rather than attacking the person. Yeah.
That is so good. For me, I'm deeply moved by the fact that men are not stepping up. And I mean, even in your institute, you have a male representative. Are you, many men, as you were saying, Hazel, you're going out to communities. Are you moving with lots of men in that direction? As you did say, Ngoni, peer pressure is something that's, rampant with males. Are you moving with lots of men to really get them on board with this issue?
At the moment, like, the community leaders are supporting us, and they are actually inviting other males to actually join the Hurukuros and stuff. Because if you get into the community, the first point to report such cases is to a man. Then the man will actually say, like, you know what, this is too huge for me, I can't handle this. Let me refer you to this person. And the next person, it's a lady, stuff.
Okay, and Perseverance, on your stance on this, being ambassadors of this as women, what's your take on that?
I think the saying on itself, nothing for us without us, is simply portraying and capturing the essence of effective and inclusive on GBV efforts. I mean, like, men are working side by side with women. They are actually taking responsibility, of which is really making a positive impact in the communities. People are opening up. They are actually spreading information in the communities, of which is actually a good move.
Right.
Yeah.
It is good. And you know what? I'm going to answer the question of what GBV, so I can win a T-shirt. So I can get a T-shirt. I've been on this T-shirt thing the whole time since we started. Because you are watching a special edition of Thriving Heals, and we are discussing the issue of gender-based violence prevention on this 16 days of activism against GBV. Do stay with us. We will be right back.
Warm up, get cozy, and shake off the winter chill with ZTN Prime's sizzling new shows. First up, we visit tiny spaces and hang out with the little ones on Happy Sprouts. This latest addition to the ZTN Kids blog shows off talent and fun school events across Zimbabwe. Be sure to also catch more fun on Magic Adventures, The Crystal Dark, and Chi Chi Ping Ping Fantasy Adventure. The dynamic suspects of Zimbabwean comedy are back to better your evenings. Laugh out loud with family and friends on Timi Nechikwata.
Security! Call security! This is a disaster!
And our new game show, Game Changers Zimbabwe, refreshes your night viewing. Learn all about starting your business. With sharp contestants and a panel of celebrity executives, the show holds much for you.
For $50,000, you have to have a game-changing idea. We are here asking for $50,000 in return of 30%.
This journey with only $23.50.
Don't miss another one of our reality shows, Heartbeats, shot straight from hospital theaters. Get face-to-face with top cardiothoracic surgeons as they perform open heart surgery. Dig into our menu of intriguing programming, which also comes with new and exciting episodes of Village Court, Munava Mune, Drug Haven, Sungura Chronicles, Most Wanted, exclusive interviews, and many more. Come along, grab a hot cuppa and enjoy ZTN Prime's new season programming.
Welcome back to the final segment of this special edition of Thriving Heals, where we are having a discussion centered around gender-based violence in our community. And this broadcast is brought to you by the Institute of Women Social Workers in partnership with Zim Papers Television Network in conjunction with HIVOS, supported by SRHR Fund. My name is Marissa Marinda, and we do have wonderful people in the studio with us, and we have been discussing the issues of gender-based violence. And earlier, we did discuss with Ngoni that 1 in 3 women are going through gender-based violence. And I did also ask the statistics of the men. You said 1 to 10, which is way less, but still, we are still involved. Everybody's involved in the situation. Now, 60% of female homicides or femicides were committed by partners, okay, or family members in this regard. Now, as in what ways are this model, such as Hurukuro, addressing some of these issues? What ways have you put forward? I mean, we did discuss some, but what other ways are you putting forward to combat this?
Hurukuro actually uses an Afrocentric approach. Instead of using a westernized approach where there's more of individualism, now with an Afrocentric, like a local approach, we say, like, let's come together, let's talk about what's actually making us indulge in these violences against women as men. And usually men will say it's women. Right. It starts off as a blaming game. But GBV thrives on power and control, trying to balance the gender equality, gender equality and equity and stuff. But the Hurukuro addresses, like, it's an open platform now where people actually discuss, like, some of the issues that people are going through. And usually some of those issues come from the mental health aspect of it, yeah, which actually pushes, like, men sometimes, maybe depression. Like, not everyone right now is actually in a good place, whether it's financially, physically, emotionally. But the Hurukuro is a space where we can actually get to link all these factors that affect men so that we can come up with a solution as men.
That's good. Perseverance. Speaking on local engagements, they've become more supportive towards anti-gender-based violence initiatives and advocacies. How have you done that?
We've created, as we mentioned earlier about our Hurukuro model, we have created a space which is enabling a lot of people to participate on it. So I would say that they should build more stop centers and create more safe spaces for survivors of gender-based violence, and also embrace a lot of organizations like us to do such programs, to implement programs that help to end the GBV dilemma that's going on.
You know, I heard you saying earlier, it's like there's a local way of this bashing, and then there's a Western way of bashing. I'm thinking to myself, what's the difference? They're all the same. But, you know, as you are highlighting, it's more Afrocentric, tirivanu.
Exactly.
And you know, just expressing that, even, okay, so perseverance, if someone looks at you, if you go like to the rural areas, someone can say, chicha no ziani life ye rural areas. How do you deal with that? How do you deal with that?
Okay, with our model, we have this norm that we have. It's called de-rolling. Okay. You have to immerse yourself with the people in the rural areas. You have to give them the platform, let them take responsibility of the conversation. No one is leading anybody. It's a dialogue. It's an all-round table conversation. So that way, it actually helps in addressing issues of gender-based violence in the rural areas.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, that's good. Hazel, well, our final question may be coming to you. You can maybe help us understand that we understand that everybody has a role to play in this. Yeah. We are male, female, child, girl, child, boy, child. We have a role to play. And what action can be taken to end this vice for good? And really, how long is it going to take, or is it working in your perspective?
Okay, thank you. I want to say that ending violence is not a one-time thing. It's a commitment. So I would want to urge everyone out there that let's commit to ending violence against women and girls. Let's start from the grassroots. Let's teach our children as they grow up. Let's teach them respect. Let's teach them about gender equality. Let's do away with some of those ideas that this is for girls, this is for boys, a man doesn't cry. You know, those things that perpetuate things that are harmful. Let's just teach them, let's take it from the grassroots. If anything, our vision or our wish is to see some of these issues being incorporated into our education, such that when they are growing up, they actually learn from school that this is signs of abuse, this is gender-based violence, this is gender equality, and those gender roles. And also, to the community at large, let's also be committed to this. Let's also identify or to just recognize signs, and let's help one another. Whenever you see someone being abused, let's also take it upon ourselves to help that victim so that they can get justice, so that they can get help. And also, as civil society, as government, as individuals, let's partner. Let's do the work together. We as Institute, we are open to working with anyone, be it individuals, be it the government, anyone who wants to work with us, so that we can get the message across, so that at the end of the day, we can combat gender-based violence. As you can see today, as you said at the start, we're wearing orange in solidarity with this year's theme against gender-based violence. So let's take it upon ourselves as individuals also to be a part of this. Whenever we are doing things for a greater cause, let's get together in solidarity and get the message out there. And together we can end violence. Of course, it's not going to be done in just a day. As I've said, let's commit. It's a commitment, it's a work in progress, but we can do it. Together we can realize a world that is free from gender-based violence, and where girls can live without fear of violence.
That's good. And Ngoni, if I'm experiencing gender-based violence at home, say, or my uncle or my dad or my brother's abusing me, where do I come? Where are you guys located? How do I get help from you?
You can come to our offices. We are just close by. 2931 Selous Avenue. Okay. That's where we are.
That's where you are located. And on social media, Perseverance, maybe, can we find you guys on social media?
Yes, you can.
Or a helpline? Do you have one?
We actually have social media platforms, Social Work Women on IG, Social Work Women on Facebook as well.
Okay. Yeah. So that's where we can get to. So last words, maybe, Ngoni, you can address the males. Maybe you can address the males. What parting words would you say pertaining to how we can end this vice of gender-based violence?
I think let's redefine what it means to be a man. Because we have this notion like a man is emotionless, and a man is strong, a man is this. But I think this is like an old school kind of definition and stuff. Let's actually tap into what's going on. Like, the world is changing right now. Let's all come together and protect our women. That's the least that we can do. And women also need to also listen to men. Like, sometimes we also have issues. And when I come to you, it doesn't mean like I'm weaker. asking for help is a strength. And if we put our heads together, we can actually end this pandemic.
That's good.
And also, sometimes when a man approaches another man, there's this saying in Shona saying, let's help each other.
Right. Right. That is so heartfelt, guys. I'm really for this. And thank you so much. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for joining us today, discussing this issue of gender-based violence. And I love what you said, Ngoni, about redefining. Let's redefine what a male is.
Yeah.
You know, in my mind as a woman, I'll think, Mrume is a good man. I'll say he's a good man. But let's redefine our definition of males. And I'd just like to thank my guests from the Institution of Women Social Workers for taking part in this informative discussion on gender-based violence. And that's Hazel Kandima.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Ngoni Zaishe Mugari.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Perseverance Chibiga. Percy, can I call you Percy?
Yeah, you can.
Okay,
They actually
Percy.
call me Percy, by the way.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. And it is a good thing that you are doing. And yes, guys, as we did here, social media platforms, you will get in touch. And also, Nselu, you said 26? The address is again?
2931 Selus Avenue.
29.
Synod House, by Synod House.
Right, 2931. 2130.
Selus Avenue.
Well, you have it right there. Thank you so much for joining us as we have been discussing this issue of gender-based violence. And I do hope that you will start engaging more in this very trivial topic, and you'll be discussing with your children. As we did here, one of the topics is that it starts young. We need to put this in our schools. We need to start. There's no age to start but young. You know, train up a child the way that they should go, and it won't depart from them.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining us right here.